Hi, my name is Winsley, and welcome to this week's Beginner's Guide. We're going to be talking about the hero battlesuit options that you have available to you. I'm joined by Ninjew and BadWolf. You guys want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi
I've,
there.
I've been in some of these videos. You might recognize me.
Yeah, you've been in the multiplayers too, and BadWolf, I think, is planning to get into one of the future ones, right?
Yeah, it's a plan.
I,
Mostly been playing with Never, which has been playing with you quite a bit.
I've been debating starting up a second multiplayer thing, maybe for like beginners to get more into it, because somebody messaged me about that in the comments. But that's not what people are here to talk about. They're here to talk about the battle suit. So, just a quick overview of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be going over our favorites specifically first, what I like, what Ninja likes, what Bad Wolf likes, and then we'll go into the other options in a little bit less detail. But just to make sure we go over everything, have a holistic guide. We'll do everything today. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is my favorite. I think the Warlord is really cool. I think that the ability to jump forward and do a powerful AoE that leaves you with an action is really special. And there's a lot of really crazy things that you can do with the Warlord. Um, Once you start getting some nice mods like stunning a bunch of people, um, and action resets and taking a bunch of actions away from other people. The staggering is super nice. If you can stagger a group of people, then there's a lot less actions for people to attack you back with. It is kind of dangerous jumping into the middle of combat. Like staying back and using a Warden is a pretty strong strategy that I think we'll be talking about here today. But for me, I like getting up into people's faces quickly with the melee and really leaning into what I feel like the Oathbound do well, which is doing a lot of melee and trying to control the battlefield. Jetpacks is a really nice mod to put on these guys because you can get a lot of mobility out of them that way. And I think that's basically everything that I wanted to go over generally. Is there anything you guys want to add to it?
Personally, I don't really like the Warlord a ton. Like, it's fine. My issue with it is primarily the cost for it. There's not really a terribly good, to my knowledge, there's like no way to get a Warlord outside of starting with one. And I don't think it's worth the additional 1 point cost over like a Protector or a Warden.
I think if you start with it, you can buy them, but yeah, if you don't start with them, you can't buy them. You can only buy the Marquis and the Warden. Does that sound right?
It would be the Protector, and I don't think you can buy the Marquis either.
Yeah,
No,
it's the
it's
Protector.
just Protector and Warden is viable unless you start with
No,
some other.
Warden's not viable unless you
Mm.
actually tech into the Warden.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, and some of the classes they don't start off with the Protector loadout, but like I think they're the default thing that you can buy. So even if your hero doesn't start with it, you can get access to the Protector. But yeah, the Void Tech they have Protector, Warden, Warlord, Marquis. I think the Celestian have a lot of special options. They've got the Lightbringer. I think they've got the most options out of everyone. Um, but yeah, you wanted to talk about which one was your favorite ninja? I've forgotten.
So I generally go with the Protector just because it tends to play the most into what I'm doing with Oathbound, which I'm typically playing really heavy on Aspirants, and I throw some Protectors in there, so it's just useful to have the heroes in a Protector. I don't like the Warden enough to really recommend it, but I've been pleasantly surprised by the Warden pretty much every time I've used it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really nice having that additional source of ranged stagger in an Oathbound army, because Oathbound armies are going to be very melee focused. So if there's a sniper in the back, or I think the really big thing that made me go, hey, Wardens maybe aren't that bad is when I was fighting Mr. No, he had like a Scyfish unit that had used its mind control disable thing on one of my units, and I realized like, oh yeah, a Warden can just go over and stagger that guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm all good. And that would be really hard to do with a melee unit, but a Warden just kind of solves that kind of problem. So they're pretty nice units. It's too bad you have to tech into them, but on a hero also solves some of the other issues with them. Like they're kind of squishy for being big bulky robots in an Oathbound army.
Yeah.
But hero units tend to add a lot of bulk to whatever robot they're inside of. Heroes are typically pretty hard to kill, so that helps them a lot. And of course, if you get them up to level 8, Wardens definitely benefit a lot from having that additional mod slot. And if you want to spend the extra mods on a Warden, it's pretty nice. But yes, I generally just put them in Protectors, because Protectors are big and tanky, and Heroes are big and tanky, and Protectors just kind of it just works well with what I'm doing, and it means I don't have to build as many Protectors, which tends to be the big problem with the strategies that I run. Is I just want to build a bunch of aspirants. Protectors are getting them out as a big roadblock in production, so just having them on Heroes it helps me a lot.
I think the source of heal on a Protector is something that can be really easily understated and missed, because the Oathbound kind of miss out on that. But also going back to the Warden, one of the things I really like about them is their banner is a really large range. You got 7 tiles that you can put it down from, and it hits an AoE area. So if you combine that with the stun module, you've got a stun AoE that hits from really, really far away.
Yeah, it's also not bad if you put the arc impact mod on it.
Another thing with the Warden is their defense mode, because it is surprisingly useful sometimes to get the extra morale if they debuff you into fumbling a lot.
I think Ninjew, you were talking about how the defense modes trigger a little bit differently in the last MP with these units versus the enforcers. I think they give their shields, the Protectors give their shields to the people during the turn that they go into the defensive node, so you can like kind of protect your pustules, right?
Enforcers do that too. Their defense modes work very similarly, actually. I think it was like there's some confusion with some other players on how they worked, but essentially the shields happen immediately, but additional effects like the psi buff from Enforcers, or like this extra morale that the Warden gives, that happens at turn end. So you can't just like pop the defense mode, give everyone 200 morale, unpop it, move them somewhere slightly different, pop it again, give the rest of your army 200 morale, you know?
Okay.
But the shields happen instantly as soon as they're next to one of those hexes. So for the Protector shield or the Enforcer shield, if you want to use that to get some extra defenses for covering Overwatch shots, that's a little trick you can employ.
Yeah, that's massive and a really easy thing to miss. So I'm glad that we're covering that relatively early in the video. Think we might be ready to talk about BadWolf's favorite, unless there's anything else either of you want to add to Protector or Warden.
Nah,
not currently.
Okay.
My favorite is a bit different, because it is locked behind a secret tech, which is Prometheans. I tend to very much like going Oathbound Promethean and going Purifier on my hero. Mostly, like, there is the downside over the Protector in that it does cost 2 points. But you do get repeatable AoE attack, as in you can do it every single turn. And you get the bonus with that you said with the Warlord about like teleporting in or jumping in rather.
Right, with that skill, right? What's it called? Plasma Surge, Phoenix Surge.
Yeah, I think it's level. I can't remember if it's
level 4.
Yeah, 4 or 6. So 4 it is. You can get Phoenix Surge, which allows you to basically get a similar jump, which helps out a lot to close in. And getting an AoE attack with mobility and then doing another AoE attack when you land is very devastating, especially early.
Yeah, agreed. I love, honestly, personally, my favorite thing about when I get a Promethean hero, when I hire that person with this loadout, is the Phoenix bomb launchers. The ability to put that hazard down is super useful, because I'm sure both of you are aware the AI will just run through choke points through the hazards and burn themselves to death. So it's great in the AI fights.
The plasma bombs are very, very strong for zoning things out and do a surprising amount of damage.
And I love this tech in general for the Oathbound because they have the Phoenix Walker. I think it fits really well into what they do. If you get the advanced piloting, I think I have it already on this hero. You can put your guy into a Phoenix Walker, and it's a really, really good melee unit. It's repeating high damage melee attack. It's got some AoEs, and it comes with the Pyrex absorption panel, so you don't need to mod it to get that benefit from standing in hazards. So yeah, all around a really, really strong option. Anything you guys want to add on Phoenix Walkers?
No, they're just it's a Phoenix Walker. It's very strong.
Yeah.
They're pretty neat. It's cool that they can attack air units much like all the other Oathbound melee, so it works out.
That's worth pointing out. Yeah, they've had that ability for a little while, I believe. And yeah, it's nice to have some other units that can do that too. Like I said, they fit really well into the way the Oathbound play. But yeah, there's another cool secret tech unit I want to talk about next. The Lightbringer, I think, is super fun. I don't know if you've played around with the campaign, either of you, but I was doing that a lot the past few days. And yeah, because it's Celestian, you kind of end up getting the Lightbringers, and it's like the Warden basically. It's got that flag that it can throw down from really, really far away. But also, I
actually had the displeasure of fighting Orange, who made like 12 of those things.
Yeah.
It turns out if you spam a whole bunch of those units together, the Lightbringers or Wardens, they're a real pain in the ass to fight.
Is it the banner that you hate? Or
the banner certainly helps them quite a bit.
Yeah.
Our end discussion that I had with Orange at the time was that we concluded that it's probably what you want is a mix of the Lightbringer and the Warden, because having a whole bunch of either one of those banners isn't like crazy helpful. But both of them are pretty good. The Warden's banner kind of just guarantees that everyone on the opposing army is soul burned. Like, it does that really, really well.
Yeah.
And it also sets them all on fire, which helps Wardens and Lightbringers quite a bit since they have this ranged attack.
Yeah, the 20% easier to hit. Massive.
Basically what happens is you build a couple protectors, you put them in defense mode, you have all these Lightbringers and Wardens just hanging out around them, getting those +2 shields, getting the Oath of Loyalty bonuses, so they're still really tanky. And then they just kind of focus fire whatever's in range of them, which is really easy for them to do because they have a ranged attack, unlike most of the Oathbound units.
Yeah, they can.
So you can have all of them hit the same guy, and they do quite a bit of damage. So they tend to kill things actually, and it's really hard to kill them in return if you're having them crowd around a protector and you have Oath of Loyalty on them. Like, it ends up with an awful lot of defense stacks really easily.
Yeah, once you get up to the level that gives you the extra entropy damage, you can kind of just like one-shot or two-shot most units in the game.
There's also something to note about the Lightbringer and the Warden, in that because their ranged attack is always a single action point, you don't lose anything if you advance with your protectors and the Wardens as well, like to get into range.
Yeah, I like flanking.
They have a pretty good alpha strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can operate from far away though with the banner. The banner doesn't take too long to come back, and once you start stacking the damage onto their just base damage, then that banner can even kill some units pretty easily.
Yeah, what Orange did in that fight was he took the doctrine that lets you control the banners, and it meant that every single one of his turns took forever, but it was also really obnoxious because he guaranteed that all of my units were always on fire, which adds up to quite a bit of damage.
Yeah,
actually, especially when you have that soul burn, like +20% damage, and then all the other like Celestian interactions with soul burn. Like, all this stuff adds up quite a bit.
One thing I noticed that was interesting about the Lightbringer description, I might just back out to show it, is it says that it comes with a mod, but I noticed if I didn't take Kleptomaniac, I didn't get a mod, and when I did, I got this mod, the Enlightened one. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. There may be a bug. So yeah, if there's a dev watching this, maybe you can look into that, because I'm a little confused as to what it's getting at. If you guys
It
could,
might be worth making a bug report.
yeah, because it doesn't seem to be working the way I think it's supposed to work. Let me just pull up the Oathbound and customize to show you what it says, and then maybe even I should probably just start up a game really quickly. It doesn't take that long to do.
You have to switch to Promethean, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Or not Promethean,
Yeah,
Celestian.
wait.
My bad.
I trusted you. So now we're going to this one. Yeah, it says plus a mod, burning plus a mod. You see that?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
It also costs one more than the Warden does. That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. I think potentially because it's supposed to come with a mod, but I didn't have that experience. The next thing in my list, we've gone through Warlord, we've gone through Warden. We haven't gone through the Marquis, which is a pretty big one. I think you could talk a bit about, right, Ninjew?
Yeah, the play by email guys like that one quite a bit. And in general, it's just pretty good. Its heal, I believe, has a cleanse on it, which is really notable because that's the only source of a cleanse, like status effect cleanse, that Oathbound have at all. Oathbound have some pretty nice preventative stuff against status effects. They have Isomer Stabilization op, and they have Oath of Purity, are both really good, like, status effect resistance boosters, but they don't have a way to actually get rid of status effects once you've got them. So the Marquis giving them that is pretty big. It's also just a lot of healing in general, and their primary attack being an AoE stagger at pretty long range is also just not bad. Like, it's pretty nice. So the play by email guys who do a lot of manual battles and are constantly, like, they're really worried about being able to heal up all their units at the end of every fight. They really love that thing.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if I heard you say that, but I don't think I heard you say it's like the old APC, but better, I think.
I would consider it better than the APC, but I've never really liked the APC very much. Oh, I think the Marquis also gives like a map-wide buff that I think is pretty okay. I think it's like plus damage or something.
Yeah. All right. Now I can go to my Marquis save because I just showed off there was no mod with the Lightbringer that I just started up with. So yeah, I don't think that's working as intended.
Okay, welp.
Here we go, Marquis. He comes with something cool. He comes with the thing that gives you Providence. That's like a pretty late game secondary
weapon.
I
forgot about that. Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's actually a really good thing for it to start with too.
That's, yeah, it makes it so that other people can just go crit. So if you got like some high damage dealing unit, maybe, I don't know, a hacker, who knows? Yeah, they can really lay in some damage really quickly. Maybe take out a unit early, which is, you know, less action points against you. But yeah, did you say anything about this thing, the Honor's Call?
I kind of mentioned it. Yeah, it's a plus 200 morale and plus 10% damage increase for 2 turns. That's not bad.
Yeah, if you've got a lot of units.
But it's pretty good. It's definitely worth bringing up. It's a nice thing.
Banner Justices, the cleanse, that's what we were talking about. Cooldown to 2 is pretty nice. I haven't played around with the banners that much, to be honest. If you do that and there's already a banner out there, it like probably deletes the old one, right?
I don't know. I don't know what that interaction is. I wouldn't expect it to delete the old one. I'd expect it to work very similarly to like resetting a construct or something.
Okay, that'd be nice to have them just everywhere, because I could see that if you really invest in getting units that can throw down banners, that you could get quite a few.
I don't know what resets Oathbound has access to. I guess there's the network link one.
Yeah, I think Synthesis Oathbound is really nice, actually, once you get to later techs. Mostly before the resets. But yeah, what else is there to say about Marquis? If you do it with the hacker, you get 2 sources of Providence. That's what somebody wrote. I think that's true. I'm not sure.
Hackers don't give Providence.
Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, you need a watcher for that. They give Fatalism, which is pretty nice. But you kind of need to be building an army of hackers to really take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Which is amusing.
Okay.
But I mean, I've tried that. It kills things really good. If you have hackers and you put fatalism on something, like that thing just dies.
Yeah. Oh, somebody said you can AoE stun with its primary attack. There's no cooldown on it, so that's pretty cool. I like that
Yeah.
idea. And what else is on the list of things? There, we've talked about Phoenix Walkers. We didn't really talk about the champion or the Black Tyrant, but that's all I have really left on my notes. If you get those, like, that's really really good. They're just not things you start off with, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really like putting heroes in champions. Champions are just a little bit too squishy for their job, and I don't think the hero like improves that sufficiently enough. I mean, it's a flying unit, so if you're building like big champion stacks, you probably want to put your hero in a champion just so that they can keep up. And at the point that you have like 6 champions or so, I think the fact that they're really squishy just gets absolved a bit by just how good their alpha is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter that they're squishy. If you have 3 in a group on top of the enemy units, most of the enemies just die like before they get their turn if you build them correctly.
I have
Yeah.
noticed that if you don't do the right unit competition, they will run ahead and get a hero killed in a fight that they should. There's no reason that hero had to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a great unit. I think if you synergize enough with them, if you plan ahead enough with them, but
You either need to be playing very carefully with them or you need to make a bunch of them.
the base stat boost that they give is really not good. Just comparing it
Nope.
to the this
They
guy,
actually,
it's the
like,
same as the Warden.
All of the Oathbound vehicles give really crummy stat ups.
But they
And-
have options. They do cool things, I think, is their
Yeah.
advantage. And then the Black Tyrant is that
I mean,
thing everybody wants, right?
Oathbound heroes get a bunch of absurd garbage if they are inside of a battlesuit, so like it's kind of fine.
Mhm.
I don't know anything about the Blackguard Tyrant. I've literally never looked at that unit before.
It's a big part of the campaign. I used a hack to get it in this save, so I can just show it off in a second. You can heal a bunch with an AoE, so yeah, I'm sure you can imagine. It's pretty annoying to play against, but also once you get it, super fun. I think you might be able to get it through an anomaly or like a location.
It's
Yeah,
a
you
pretty
can.
cool looking unit.
Yeah, it's
You
their
can get
T4.
one through an anomaly that's like it's a dark temple or dark spire or something like that, where you can get it as a drop after the fight.
Yeah, this is the one Ninjew. All enemies in the 3 hex are overwhelmed, and they give you some health and become insane, basically.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, as you
very
can
cool.
imagine, it's a crazy unit. But yeah, that's everything I had to say. I don't think we missed anything important. There's some tangential discussions we could have had about wreckers and bulwarks being battlesuits, but I don't think that's what most people will be
That's-
looking for.
I don't think that's really an Oathbound thing. That might be something to talk about if we do like an assembly video or a Devar video, but I don't. As an Oathbound player, you're not really going to be getting access to wreckers, certainly.
Yeah, they just have this tag, which I think means they are able to apply a couple more mods to them, which is neat. But apart from that, I don't think there's anything else I want to say on that. Thanks for joining
Yep.
me here, guys. That was a fun discussion.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
Thank you very much.
See you around.